Hello, everybody. My name's Milan Starcic. Welcome to Freedom Rising, a podcast dedicated to empowering individuals on the journey to personal growth, lasting serenity, and freedom from addiction. Tune in and join the movement. Your journey to freedom starts here. We neither represent, promote, or demote any 12-step program or organization. We are merely souls on the path of recovery with the desire to expand our lives and experiences and share them with you. Hello, everybody.
What's up?
Welcome to the 189th Recovery Freedom Rising podcast. I'm Milan Starcic with co-host Andrew Normand. I would like to take a second to thank everybody for being part of our incredible journey these last 11 months. I believe that tomorrow will mark, but we're not doing a podcast tomorrow, but tomorrow marks 11 months of this journey. And, you know, it's been 11 months and probably pretty close to 6,000 downloads. And you know, I think we're in excess of 40 different guests on here now. And
All over the world.
It's been a blessing in my life. It's been a source of growth, healing, love, friendship, camaraderie, laughter, and most of all, you know, it's connecting me to the universe in a really amazing way. And so today's topic is procrastination. So I will procrastinate no further and say, would you like to share what this means to you, Andrew, and why you were happy to procrastinate about discussing this here today?
I would love to, man. I would love to. It's wild how some of these topics. First off, thank you for everybody, just anybody listening, anybody being a part of this. If you've been on as a guest, just listening, whatever, man. Thank you. You know, we can't do this, and there's no reason for us to do this if you're not listening. So, thank you. It's really a really special thing for all of us involved. Procrastination. It's wild. We didn't have a topic as of like 12 hours ago. And we had to, so I'm just going to say we had to back into procrastination as a topic. Again, God works in mysterious ways, man. So, and I even threw at you some topics that I had been thinking of, and you said, nah, we're going to roll with procrastination tomorrow. And then we'll do that next week. It's kind of funny how it's like the universe it works in mysterious ways. I need to be talking about procrastination today. I honestly should talk about it a lot more than I do. I tend to sprinkle on it in a lot of our podcasts because it is a real problem for me. And throughout today, we will be able to discuss all that. But off the jump, excuse me, it's this for me. It's not explosive. It's not dramatic. It's not obvious. It's that quiet little voice in the back of my head that says, I'll do it later. You know, it's that, you know, and that robs me of my peace, right? Of my growth, of my opportunity, because when I do that, I'm saying like, it's okay to not do it now. And then I'm putting it on the back burner for later. So it's something I have to add to my mental, space later anyways, right? Even though I'm thinking about it right now. And it has translated into worse things, right? Like procrastination has been an underlayment for me, where like a lot of things that I try to do well or something that's good in my life gets procrastination will get in there and then it ruins it. Whatever it might be. But when I really think about this thing, like, I would tell myself things like, I would start Monday, I'll start next week, I'll quit doing that next week. I'll call my mom tomorrow, but then tomorrow never came. Very rarely would ever come. And I remember thinking about I remember like writing off certain things that I needed to do, even though when they first came onto my plate, they were very, very important. And it's very, very sneaky, man. It's sneaky for me. It creeps in there. It's a very, very it creeps in there very, very slowly for me. And then it has a way of just out of nowhere, just taking hold of everything I'm doing because you procrastinate about 2 or 3 things and then you just say, F it, man, I don't want to do anything. So procrastination is really, really sneaky. It sucks, man. It sucks. I'm kind of like, I don't want to talk about it today, but I know we have to talk about it today. Um, because it's probably one of the biggest things for me. When I really think about a lot, like all the problems that I have and the things that plague me on a daily basis, and this is a Just for Today program, which that has helped me a lot because I can recognize my wins and not just be completely beaten down because I haven't for so long. But I'm kind of rambling. We'll pass it around. We'll get into the questions, man. This is a really, really shitty subject for me. I don't want to be talking about it. I have something. I always have something eloquent to say, Milan, right?
Yeah.
And I have something eloquent to say about it, but it won't let me say it because it's like I'm almost not there yet, right? Like I don't have it licked. I do not have this procrastination thing licked. I have problems with this. And so I'm okay. Like this is gonna be really fun, but I have big problems with this. I am working on it though, and we'll talk a lot about that today too. But I'll pass that to you, man. You tell
I
me what's about. I don't know how to fix it.
I think it's massively, about awareness. Like, I tried to make a vow this year that this would be my year with no procrastination.
Mm,
And like, I'll tell you right now, a year with no procrastination is like a year without
impossible.
rain or a year without
Yeah, yeah,
sunshine. Like it just it is or has been pervasive in all my life,
yeah,
and it's more, procrastination is more than a simple delay of things,
yeah,
it's a subtle form of self-sabotage,
yeah,
and it hides behind excuses, fear of failure, or perfectionism. Like, I have some moments where it's like I'm not going to create something amazing, so I won't do it. And so,
yeah,
like, it's like perfectionism we hide behind as well. And and it really prevents us from living in the present moment. Because, like, win, lose, or draw, if we're actually present, we're not fearing that outcome, right?
yeah,
Like, if
yeah,
we're
yeah.
outcome driven, we're not here. And in the Living Clean, it says inaction is a decision in itself. Like, we're like, and there's always that Rush
Yeah.
lyric, there's oh gosh, I don't know what song it is, but it's my favorite Rush lyric. It says, if you decide to not choose, you still have made a choice." And and,
Yeah, yeah,
and in the Big Book it says, "Faith without works is dead." So when we put off what's necessary to grow, be it amends, inventory, spiritual maintenance, we go back to restless, irritable, and discontent. And that's, and for anybody out there who's new, that's anxious, angry, and depressed. And how many times have you felt like crap from not doing something, and then when you actually do it, you're like, oh, that
you feel
wasn't that much.
amazing.
It wasn't that much. Like,
Yes.
procrastination robs us of our freedom because it keeps us chained to a pattern of actions that doesn't serve
Yep.
us. And so recovery tries to invite us to replace delay with willingness, fear with faith, indecision with action, because every step, no matter how small forward, it brings us closer to freedom.
Yeah.
And even if we take little steps forward and step backwards, at least we know we're capable of going as far as we did. I really watched myself uh, sabotage a lot of my life, and a lot of that life was from screwing up substance wise and not being present, but also just not following through. When I'd have, like, it was like I'd get something 80 or 90% to amazing, and didn't
Yep.
realize that that last 10 or 20 was what it would take to make it a full success. So I
Yep.
think this is going to be a real uh this is going to be like putting on a painful pair of shoes, going outside and doing some weeding right now that we need to in our garden.
It is. And you know what just came to my mind? And then I like got mad at myself for having this thought, but I'm still going to tell you anyways, is I think
Mm-mm.
we should do like a monthly or like a every other month thing about it. Just make sure we stay on top of this
I
thing,
think
man.
that
It's
would be
almost like a,
great. And
and
also, like, rotate a series of guests in it.
of guess it. That's exactly what I was going to say is rotate a series of
Yeah.
guests that we kind of see that has a problem with it too.
Yeah.
Right. And
But we get
outside
to
of it.
see 3 or 4 months progress for them.
Oh, we're so amazing.
Yeah. Let's not
God, we're so
procrastinate on this
smart.
one.
Let's get that going like right now. Let's do that. Oh man, that's so funny, man. I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's dope.
No, you
We were
didn't.
having the same thought at the
Yeah,
same time. It's really cool. Really cool. You want me to ask you the first question?
sure.
Let's roll into it because as the more we're like talking about it, the more I'm getting comfortable talking about how bad I am at this. So, what fears usually drive your procrastination today, Milan? Tell us about it.
I would say that fear of success, like as much as I want success, I really think that there's a subtle fear inside me that's holding me back on that. Also, probably like a feeling or a fear that I'm not worthy, most of all, and a fear that I'm not capable. Like along with that fear of success is also a fear of failure. Like either I procrastinate so that I don't have to show my best, right? Or I'm afraid, and what if my best isn't good enough?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and I really think for me that's a lot of it. And uh, part of me is like I have to organize with calendars and schedules because my memory's so bad. Sometimes my procrastination is literally me forgetting that I have something to do.
Yeah.
Like I have to set alarms and calendar events,
Yeah.
or
You got
or
to.
or I'm lost in time.
Yeah. 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 No doubt.
I
Is
thought
that
it was
it?
Wednesday yesterday. I, I was all getting ready for the podcast. I was like, what? And then it's like, I'm walking with my mom and she's like, yeah, Wednesday's tomorrow. And I was like, oh,
You're like, can't wait to see Andrew later, man. We
yeah.
can have a good day
I'm like,
today.
man, I ain't going to see him today.
We don't have a topic, but I still can't wait to see him. I'm just kidding.
We would have ruled in something.
No doubt, no doubt. So, all right, you want me to answer it?
Yeah.
All right, man. So, what fears usually drive? So these are gonna be tough, man. I'm already like dreading but loving that we're doing this because I'm gonna be better at the end of this. But what fears usually drive my procrastination today? Um, every time I usually find myself avoiding something or putting off something important, there's always it's a very quiet fear that underlies that situation. I find um, just being able to recognize that there is a fear there has taken a lot of work. Let's start there. Just to be able to recognize that that's happening almost like an outside perspective and be able to notice that because I've been so wrapped up in it for so long has been a like hard work in itself to be able to do that. Um, because it's usually in disguise, like it's usually disguised as like tiredness, um, distraction, waiting for the right moment, like you said, wanting to make sure that when I do this, it's going to be perfect when I get it done. But when I look at it for what it really is, it's that self-centered fear, right? That hides behind that illusion of like comfortness. It looks like I'm being comfortable in a situation, but behind the scenes, I'm like just freaking the hell out. And the first and biggest fear that drives it though is like fear of not being good enough, right? I think that's the first one that kind of that flames in there, right? My voice that says like, what if you try and you're not as good as you thought you were going to be, or you're not going to live up to other people's expectations? What if you fall short? And that's a sneaky voice that, again, it's talking to me in my own voice. I'm a good salesman, and it tells me to wait until I feel more ready, right? Until I'm more confident, until I'm more put together. And the truth is, bro, I'll never feel ready. If I'm gonna wait for perfect conditions, I'm never gonna be ready. If I'm gonna wait for the perfect conditions to happen for me to do everything, I'm never gonna be ready, Milan. So that fear convinces me that like preparation equals safety, but really it's just delay, man. It's just a delayed response so that I'm not. That's why I don't have to do it right then. And then when the next time comes up for me to take care of it, I'm gonna do the same thing again. I'm gonna cycle through what I just did to not do it again. And man, it gets tricky. It gets tricky because that can be an underlayment throughout the day and everything I do. Everything. Every little task I do, I can procrastinate on, and I can get stressed out about it. I can get like ramped up. I can get my blood pressure up. I can get all all in my feels, creating some drama around the workplace just so I can talk a little bit more sternly to a coworker, like in a situation. And I'm not doing that for that, but I find myself having to have tougher conversations because I'm procrastinating on shit all day. Um, so that's like the first thing. That's like the first thing that came in there is that like I'm not good enough. It's not going to be perfect. I'm not going to do it to up to standard, or people are going to be not people aren't going to be happy when I get done doing this. They're not going to be happy with what I do. And another one's like I feel like I'm going to embarrass myself, right? Like and really, what am I basing that on, Milan? Like, what am I basing what I'm getting ready to do and why it would embarrass myself? You know what I mean?
Fear
Like,
of
where
judgment.
Yeah, and so there's your people pleasing. There's comes in with your people pleasing. You're lying to yourself. There's a lot of negative shit that goes in just with that single action alone. Just that simple action alone of wanting to be in that mental space is not good. And then as an addict, right? Like that can start the ball rolling downhill on these bad decisions we make, and continuing to not do the right thing because we're getting bogged down mentally because we're putting off that important thing that we need to be doing. So and we can go from one bad decision to another bad decision, to another bad decision, and we can wind up in a homeless camp somewhere. you know that happens to us. I've seen that happen. And so I don't need to really ramble on about this one, but like I have a fear of people judging me. Like, and what is that fear on? Amon? What is that like? We live our whole lives worrying about what our neighbors think about us so much. Like our neighbors are worrying about like, do we cut our grass on time? Do we put our cans out to the street and all that shit? They don't. They are not worrying. They're not watching us. They're not worried about anything about me. I've
That's
realized
an
that.
ego thing, though. A friend, my friend Jessie, young Gabriel's partner.
Mm-hmm.
She's like thinking that I'm important to other people is a self-centered ego thing, and she had a real problem with it when she came in. And the way she shares on it, it's just remarkable, man. When I heard that, I was like, oh, I never thought of that. Insecurity is actually an ego thing. Like we think people are thinking about us. Like we're
Yes.
something the fucking important thing. Like,
Yes, like I have found myself, especially early on in recovery, when I'm just not feeling good. I found myself when people would be outside, like across the street, if a bunch of my neighbors were out, and I had to go to work. I would wait till they go inside before I go get in my car and go to work.
yeah,
Weird.
yeah,
For what? They're like because they're gonna watch me walk to my car, and then my head's like they're gonna think something about whatever I had going on at that point. Man, in my
yeah,
head would get wrapped up in anything, and that can get the ball rolling. We're like we just want to isolate, man. We just want to be weird and alone, right? And then that gets really crazy. So yeah, man, that was my answer. I just answered that, right?
yeah.
Your question.
Awesome.
Okay, cool.
Okay, procrastination is the quiet thief of spiritual growth. How have you seen procrastination subtly creep into your recovery over time?
Yeah, it's almost like an avoiding life thing for me. I used to procrastinate when I was doing my steps early, big time. Like when I started doing my steps the first time, I Jesus, it took forever for me to actually get started. I started in treatment, and that's where I kind of came out, and I was like, I want to get them all done overnight and be healed. And then I realized that this is a process, and they're written as long as they are the way they are for a reason. But I would procrastinate on my step work, big time. Um, I'm trying to think. I know, like, I still struggle with what's the exact. What do I? How does it creep in early on in recovery,
How
or just
have you
recovery in
seen
general?
procrastination subtly creep into your recovery over time?
Yeah.
Like maybe in the frame of like how is it slowing down something that you're trying to do in recovery?
Step work. So this round of steps has been extremely slow for me. I did my first round of steps, and going on this second round has been extremely slow. I've got so much going on, Milan, just with my work. I've got, the clothing line. I've got so much stuff. I'm helping a lot of addicts out, and this is another thing. Like I'm getting heavy on the NA stuff, and I'm not putting enough of my passion into my life stuff, which is why I haven't moved, which is something I really need to shift gears to. But when you asked that question, just to answer your question, step work has always been a problem with me in terms of my recovery and getting it done because I'm 3.5 years clean. I'm just starting on my second round of steps, man. You're gonna probably be on your third round at that point. I
Yeah,
just
I'm on my
procrastinated.
third right now. Yeah,
Well, there you go. There you go. But we're
we're
all
doing
different.
kind of two. Like, it's crazy right now.
Yeah, I know. I know. Y'all are nuts. You do two-way prayer. Like one's not enough. I know. I get it. I get it.
Like one's-
I love you, man. Is it you want me to ask you now?
I got to answer this one.
Yes, you do. I'm so sorry. I'm so off
Yeah,
this morning. I'm so sorry.
procrastination is the quiet thief of spiritual growth. How have I seen procrastination subtly creep into my recovery over time? I would say that procrastination has crept in my work for kind of expanding my work, using the state of the real estate market as an excuse instead of doing all the things that I could be doing for free more in my work area. I've seen it creep in with relationship healing, like using others as my limitation for growth and using that as my system for procrastinating and putting that off. And then also this one too, in my snacking reduction and eating healthier. Like I'm like, okay, well, if I just exercise a little more, maybe I can snack a little more too.
Me too on that one. I'm sorry. Me too on the
Yeah.
exercise. God dang.
Yeah. So, it's and but the thing is though is that I absolutely have a direct correlation of how I wake up feeling, how I act and react by what I eat. Like I know it. When I eat something crappy, I can feel like the sugar reaction. It's like man, it can almost defeat me for the following day's exercise. Like I'll
Yeah.
wake
Yeah.
up and I'm like, maybe not today. I'm a little, like it just plants the seed of inactivity for me,
Yep.
and that's a dangerous one because I feel so strongly about the energy, vitality, and connection to the universe that occurs during my exercise. Holy crap, dude! I was out walking. Today I'm out walking doing my gratitude prayers and I'm right on this corner and I was at the end and I said, I'm like, thank you for my connection to all this beauty. And this massive shooting star just comes diagonally across the sky. And I was just like, I'm like,
Nice.
okay, and thank you for the
Ah,
bonus.
answers. I love that.
Yeah,
I
it
love
was
that.
amazing. Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much it for me on that one. You've got a question for me?
That's beautiful. I do. How does procrastination affect your spiritual condition today, Milan?
Well, it absolutely disconnects me. What we have is that daily reprieve contingent on the maintenance of our spiritual condition. And when I am thinking about things I haven't done, or when I'm thinking about things I still need to do, I am not here in the present moment.
Yeah.
And so that in itself disconnects me. And that is why at the beginning of the year, it was one of the pledges that I made to myself was to have this be a year of non-procrastination. And I'll tell you though, there's been so many days that I have not wanted to do what I've been doing that day,
Yeah.
but I've done it because of this pledge to myself. And I'm not saying I've gotten through it perfectly, but I'm saying that I did 70% of the stuff that I would have previously procrastinated on. And,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm quite frankly, I'm actually, if I could continue on this level, that would be okay. Like I don't feel that I'm falling behind in my life in that respect. So yeah, I think that's my answer for that one.
Beautiful, man. I love you, bro.
Love you too.
So I'm going to answer this. Let me see here. How does procrastination affect my spiritual condition? Well, man, it really hinders my spiritual condition, overall. When I start thinking about it specifically, um, it's not just about time, it's about connection. Every time I procrastinate, something happens inside me that's just deeper than like just putting it off. Almost like a subtle disconnection that'll hinder our communication. um I take a quiet, it's almost like a step back from my spiritual alignment, right? Like if I'm spiritually aligned, it's like I've taken a step back from that at that point. It's almost like a fog that creeps in. But it's for me, it's a spiritual disobedience, almost like in slow motion for me, Milan. It's that moment when I know that, like, the next right thing in my heart, I hear it in my heart, I feel it in my consciousness, but I still don't do it. I still decide I'll do it later. And a lot of times being tired, that tiredness creeps in, and that really taps me out spiritually, man. There's been times when I've waken up in the morning, me and my fiance, we pray in the morning and at night religiously, not religiously, but religiously we do it, not in religious fashion. But we've been so tired, both of us, like in the morning, where it's like we're both laying there, and I remember have laying there and go, okay, are you gonna pray or am I gonna pray? And then, and I'm so tired, like I'm sitting here thinking about how ridiculous it is that my mind's thinking about how tired I am that I can't pray. But then I'm still so tired that I don't want to pray right now. Right. And then it's almost, it could, because when I pray, and this is just me, when her and I pray, like, she will sometimes just throw it out there, but I like to, like, breathe. I like to think about what I'm getting ready to pray about. Like, we pray about specific people and things. Like, it's a very, very intimate process for me. And so I don't like to just be driving down the road at 95, like spitting it out, like, thanks God for, like, keeping me alive. I don't do that. I don't do that. Uh, it was almost a point of contention early for her and I, because when she would want to do that, I would tell her to stop. Like, I didn't want to be a part of it. Um, and it's just because I wanted to slow down, or just, call me back when you can slow down and we can pray properly. That's kind of where I was at with it. Um, I don't know. It's almost God making me slow down in those times to be like, bro, you can procrastinate on everything else, but you need to slow down and talk to me properly. You need to slow down and talk to me properly. Um, but it's crazy because even when all the other things are in line for me to do that thing, I'll still find myself not doing it. And that's me taking my will back. Right? That really is what it is. It's me taking my will back. That is in prime form, in real time, me taking my will back for everybody to see, including myself. And it's almost like I can see what I'm doing now. There are a lot of times when you do that, you don't see it, but you would actually be able to see it in that instance. But every time I say I'll do it later, it's just a grounds for me missing something or not being able to be as present in the moment as I can possibly be in that moment. And that's tough. That's tough because what am I doing here? I'm doing everything to be present, to be consciously connected. This is a program of surrender, not self-improvement, Milan. And that's where my brain comes to too. Like I need to stop worrying about trying to fix myself. I need to really do better at turning a lot of this stuff over, because obviously this is one that I haven't. And procrastination is a sneaky thing because it's not like the word is not just something you either have or you don't, right? It sprinkles in everything that I do. It can or it can't, right? So, and it's up to me whether I let it. It's up to me whether I let it. Lon, I'm not even joking, bro. There was a time on the being late and early to work thing that I set my alarm an hour and a half early, and I would wake up literally an hour and a half early, and I would find something in that hour and a half with my dog, or like something around the house or something that would make me later than if I would have just woken up on time. I'm
I
not
mean, it's not funny,
not
like,
joking.
but
It's
thereand there's a funniness
serious.
to it. Yeah, it's
And it is
that's
funny.
a problem. But
It's a problem. It's a
yeah,
problem. So then I'm like, why am I
yeah.
waking up early? What am I waking up early so I can just stick my thumb up my ass and just walk around, like, and then be late to work again? Then I'm really down on myself. I'm like, bro, you got up early. You went to bed early, got up early to be early to work, and you're more late. What's wrong with you? So that's me. That's me. That was early on, though. I don't do that anymore. That was like early on when I'm like, I didn't know what was going on. So
One of the things I found for myself is I intentionally keep gaps in my schedule
love
because
that.
no doubt the world fills my day with more stuff than I had planned. And if I
Yeah,
don't leave those gaps, then something suffers, man. And then I
yeah,
have to procrastinate. And
yeah,
when I was forever making lists I could never accomplish, it was always causing pain in my life.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yep,
And
yep.
okay, I've got a humdinger for you here. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The big book reminds us that half measures avail us nothing. Postponing action keeps us in half measures.
Mm-hmm.
What half measures have you had to surrender to move forward spiritually?
What half measures have I? What do you mean by that?
Like, what things were you doing half-ass that you had to let go of, like to get to, like to actually say, I'm not going to do this halfway anymore?
Wow.
Like,
So
what
this
did
is a
you realize needed full commitment inside your
yeah,
path
yeah.
towards
Well,
spirit?
that's well, so this is a program of complete abstinence from all drugs, right? Like when I first came in here, I had to realize that staying off everything was how we do this process here. But how I commit, the commitment. What measures have I surrendered? It was my shit active my addiction. It was a series of half measures, man. I was only half measures when I came in here. I never really followed through with anything because I was on drugs. I had a problem and I was wrapped up. But I wanted the results without the work. I wanted the freedom without the surrender, and I never really fully surrendered at first. But I think we all deal with that in our own ways, man. But when I got clean, the same mindset followed me through the door. I came into the rooms wanting the recovery, but on my own terms. I wanted to feel better, but without truly having to change who I was as a person. Um, and for a while, I tried to and it worked for a while, but then after a little while, you start hearing some things. You go to enough meetings, you get a sponsor, like you're going to get some work done on yourselves. Because half measures really availed us nothing, man. Half measures don't get us anywhere. So when I think about that, I've always bargained. I've always tried to been like, hey, I'll give you this if you give me that, and I don't have to do that anymore today. I don't have to do that part of it anymore. I've surrendered the half measure, and so and I've changed that with honesty. I try to be extremely honest at all times, and then even when it's doesn't help me at all. It goes back to goodwill and just doing the right thing, especially when nobody's looking, man. Because if I just start doing the wrong shit, man, I'll get down on myself, man, and then I can really beat myself up internally, So um, true surrender is what really will help out with this procrastination. Now that I'm really thinking about it, if I can really learn how to apply some surrender process to this procrastination, I think I can tackle it a lot better than I have been. And I could be wrong, but as I'm like thinking about it in my head, as I'm really formulating this thing, I think I need to apply some more of that surrender process to this thing because I haven't done it. I haven't done it. So
Look at, dude, we are shit ass defect removers.
yeah,
Well,
man.
we've
Yeah.
proven that
Yep.
should not be our occupation.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt, man. No doubt. Oh, man.
Are you done?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah,
What
I'm
half
done.
measures have I had to surrender to move forward spiritually? Like I've said a bunch of times on this podcast, last fall I realized that I wasn't praying and meditating enough. And I've ramped that up, and the two-way prayer has definitely brought about a lot more of that. I still could meditate more. I still could meditate more, and I know it.
Me too.
And I know it. It is part of every day, but I just don't like. I I honestly feel like I need to join like a meditation group and actually just learn from some people that are really skilled at it. Like
Professionals at it.
yeah, it's not a skill that I have. It's something that I try to do, which is different. Like when I pick up my guitar, I would say it's a skill I have. I'm also trying to do something on it, but I know how to execute that. Um, I would say my attitude towards service. It was on here again. Like, man, I feel like I reveal my whole life to you, Andrew,
Yeah,
because I'm
that's
always like,
okay.
but I'm
That's all
like,
right.
like I feel like there was a point this summer inside the two-way prayer where it said to me, it said, stop cherry picking your service.
Yeah.
And so now when I haven't taken on like any GSR or whatever, like all the whole structural roles there. I'm not sure I'm ready for that because I really have this aversion to politics, like, and I feel like I don't know if I can handle that. But I do, like, I do so much service for my groups, and in sustaining them, seriously,
Hmm.
like I you know practicing these principles in all my affairs. Like, there's just, I could still see where it's like being really loving here, not so loving over here,
Hmm.
and the reality is that it's real easy to love someone you love. It's not real easy to love someone who tests your faith and love, you know,
X.
and I see that. I see that that's a weakness. And it's something though that when I can and when I have, it's only brought peace, joy, serenity, contentment to me. You know, on my step work, I feel that there's still things I'm missing, even doing all the step work I'm doing. It's that, there's still some deeper digging that I gotta go.
Deeping digger.
Digger deeping. I gotta do
Digger
some
deeping.
digger deep in there,
Some
Andrew.
diddy.
And it's funny, but what do I need to surrender? I need to surrender my half surrender. Like, I need to surrender deeper.
Amen.
I need to surrender my surrender deeper, and then it's, looking at something like the First Corinthians 13, man, like, I need to love more completely. I need to take my partial love, further learn about loving completely, and really catch myself, like there's a part in that where it says, for we know in part and we prophesy in part, but when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. That's frickin' half measures, man. It's saying
Hmm.
that when you just do something, it's like all of the choices of how you're going to love will be gone if it's full love, you
Yeah.
know? And
Yeah.
and and that to me is, I know it. I'm not there, but I can see that that's where the true magic, freedom, love, and everything lies.
Hmm.
And then I would say that, my perception and my preferences that were and are the source of all my pain. Like, that is something that it's like I still need to surrender a lot of those old concepts and beliefs and the
Hmm.
things that are holding me back. Like, just yesterday, it was like I got in this one feeling about how something was happening inside this one group. And, and I literally had to have a meeting about it at the group. And,
Mm.
and I'm glad I did. But in the end, I'm like, whoa, it's just like, it was me not happy with how things were going.
Hmm.
Everybody else except for there was another person too who wasn't happy in the same way that I wasn't. But that doesn't mean that him and I were right,
Yep.
and what I realized in the end is that it's like that that group is the lifeline for some of those people, man.
Mm. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and
man.
that's all I got for that.
You ready for my question?
Hmm.
How has recovery how has recovery changed your understanding of procrastination? Sorry.
So I think one of the things, it's kind of like smoking, where uh, I don't know who it was, but there was somebody who confronted us with came at you about smoking being a form of like a lack of self love. Remember that?
JJ.
It was JJ.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
He
on
gets me
one
all
of
the
it.
time with that shit.
Yeah, but the thing is that I fully see procrastination as being this same thing for me. Like, and then I see that because not only does procrastination hurt those that I love by me not getting done, or maybe even not making them feel important. Like, somebody wants me to do something and I procrastinate on it. It's like, hey, that's not important enough to do now. You're not important enough for me to do it for you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But hey, turn the mirror, for we know in part, we know in part, like what I was just reading. Like, here I am doing that to myself. Hey, Milan, you're not important enough to keep your word to yourself. What does
Yeah.
that do? That makes me a dishonest man. That makes me a man who's not doing what I say I'm going to do. And it perpetuates this negative self opinion that I have. Like, I still live in it now, and I got more to feel good about myself right now than any other point in my life. And I'm
Mm.
still surprised when someone says something nice to me, you know?
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an absolute thing where it's like one of the things I think I just realized right now, my greatest procrastination is unforgiveness for myself.
Yeah, man.
And
Yeah.
that's what's holding me back, man.
Yeah, man.
Whoa, almost made me
Man,
cry right there.
wow. That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Beautiful. You just gave me tingles.
Whew, it almost made me cry. I
Wow.
think I'm leaving that there because I'm
Yeah,
I
man.
just need a little
Yeah.
bit of breather.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So that was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us, Milan, man. That was really, really cool, man. So, how has recovery changed my understanding of procrastination? So I was blind to it before I got here. I knew what that word was, and I knew I did a lot of it. I just didn't care, you know. But so my understanding beyond the surface level to me was, it was just putting things off or being lazy or not being motivated. And I used to beat myself up for it, thinking it was just simply like a bad habit. Like I had a bad habit, or a character flaw, if you will. Over time, man, doing some work on myself, doing the steps, building some of that conscious contact that we talk about all the time with my higher power, and being honest with myself and my folks. I came to see what procrastination truly is. Right? It's not a time management issue, and that's what I thought it was. I used to think it was a time management issue, but for me, it's a deep spiritual issue, man. It's not a time management issue. Before I came here, I thought procrastination was only about like doing a task, or doing tasks. Procrastination directly connected to tasks, but it doesn't. It's for me now, and as I think about it, as I'm like sitting here now thinking about it, it has to do with trust. Procrastination has to do with trust, man. Do I trust myself? Do I trust others? Do I trust my higher power? That's the most important thing. Most importantly, do I trust my higher power enough to act even when I don't feel like I'm ready to act? Right, Milana? Even when I don't feel like I'm ready, I need to trust myself, the people around me, and my higher power enough to know that regardless of how it comes out, I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay even if I don't feel ready to do this thing. And so recovery has taught me that procrastination is often that it's almost like a visible symptom for an invisible fear, right? Like it's the visible symptom of that invisible fear. So it's like it's the direct connection to that invisible fear that we can't see. It's the after effect almost. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, that fear of success we talk about, fear of discomfort. The program has helped me see that, right? Like, see, I wasn't lazy. I'm not a lazy person. I'm scared. It comes down to that. It doesn't come down to like I don't have enough ass to do it. It's about I'm scared, man. I'm scared of something. Deep down, it's I have to find the root of what I'm scared of. It's not that I'm unmotivated, man. I'm not uncertain here. And so that kind of changed everything for me. Um, but in the past, I would just shame myself into things. Like I would be like, "What's wrong?" Like I would just shame myself into not doing things, and then I would just ask myself, "What's wrong with me?" Right? I'm having an internal conversation with, and I ain't got no answers. That's why I have to have this program. I gotta have this program. I gotta have y'all. I gotta have my sponsor. I gotta have people around me that when I get off track, man, they're like, "Bro, what's going on with you? Why are you acting like that? What's going on with you?" Because those are the things in my disease when I was getting bad that I couldn't see I couldn't see making those bad decisions because everyone around me is co-signing my bullshit, doing drugs with me. Father and family members and friends. It was all about the drugs. So once you get into that lane, it's really, really hard to get out if you don't have like somebody pulling your ass out. It's really tough, man. So that's why when we get in here, man, we just huddle up in the middle of the group, man, because it's real easy to fall off as an addict. It's real easy to complicate our way out, to stay outside of that safe place, man. We don't know what a safe place is, most of us. And even if we do, it's not comfortable for us. For me, it wasn't. If I'm not chucking and jiving, having to outthink what the hell's going on here in most situations, like I wasn't finding myself in it because it wasn't enough for me. So I was starting to get off on a tangent there for a minute. I'm ready.
Woo! I love that. Okay, so the Living Clean teaches that willingness is the antidote to fear, and procrastination is fear disguised as waiting. How do you recognize the difference between healthy patience and fear based delay?
Healthy patience versus fear-based delay. Answer
Yeah.
that. Answer. You got to ask me
Yeah,
that
yeah,
again,
yeah,
bro.
yeah. So, how do you recognize the difference between healthy patience and fear based delay in life?
Well, I follow my heart, man. I follow my natural gut to things now. I really do. I try to lean into those natural gut instincts today because I've been staying on top of my shit mostly here at least recently. Excuse me. Um, but there's a very fine line. There's a very thin line, a fine line that happens between healthy patience, which is grounded in faith, right? Healthy patience is grounded in faith, and then you got that fear-based delay, which is rooted in avoidance for me. It's rooted in avoidance. But as I think about it, they can both almost look the same on the surface, right? Both of them can kind of look like the same thing, and that's where we get into some problems, man. And but underneath, they come from entirely different places when I think about it. Places in the spirit, right? So healthy patience is a spiritual principle. Almost like a reflection of trust. We talked about trust earlier. Trust in myself as a growing person that when I'm practicing healthy patience, when I'm not avoiding life and I'm allowing life to unfold as it should. um Healthy patience says I'm not rushing into things because I trust what's meant for me will come. Like it's gonna come. Like what I need to have happen will happen as long as I stay faithful. Like if I can have faith and trust in this process and stay clean, right? Staying clean must come first. All this other shit's gonna fall in line. As long as I stay honest with myself. And healthy patience, when I have healthy patience, I have peace. What does peace stand for, Milan?
Present.
Po-
Oh, I don't
Positive
know.
energy always creates elevation.
There we go.
Pray every day and cherish everything. I haven't done an acronym in an hour, man. I had to throw one in there, bro. Um, so it's that sense that like I'm waiting with God, not hiding from life, right? I'm like what healthy patience is waiting on God's word and His will for me to act, and it's not me hiding or avoiding life, right? Like there's that thin line of me act like am I avoiding life or am I waiting on His will? And that comes with prayer. It comes with just staying tapped into my program, and the more I pray, the more I get those answers, man. I get all the answers I need tenfold. So for me, healthy patience comes from humility, man. It comes from humility. I gotta have some humility in my life. Gotta stay humble. Um, I don't have all the answers. I'm not gonna always ever have all the answers. When I do have the answer that somebody asked me, I tell them. I'm honest with my answer, and then if I don't, man, I try to point them in the right direction. But I'm still doing the footwork here, Milan. I'm still doing the footwork on this thing. I think it's beautiful that we were backed into this topic today because just us talking about it today, I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable not avoiding this thing, man. I really want to I really want to tackle this thing head on, and I want to be better. I want to be proactive about this thing, and I think that's the only way I can really tackle it. Because I'm not going to tackle it with just being doing my normal work. I have to be extremely proactive about this if I want to take care of procrastination. It's something I honestly have to do some deep work on. So, and I plan on doing that starting today, man. I really do. I've talked about it a lot, but I'm serious about it. So it's really cool. Thank you.
I love that. So, Living Clean teaches that willingness is the antidote to fear, and procrastination is fear disguised as waiting. So, how do I recognize the difference between healthy patience and fear based delay? Excuse me there. You know, I got to ask myself, am I doing everything I can right now? You know, because patience to me, at least this is my current take on patience. Patience is surrender in real time. It is literally surrendering right now, thinking that I've done it all that I can. And that fear-based delay is avoiding doing what I can in the present. So if I look at that one quality is, am I doing everything I can right now? And then letting it go, right? Like that is really right there the difference between procrastination and the healthy patience. Because if I don't do my part that's required in things, I could stand there and wait forever. And that's not healthy patience because I haven't done my share. Like I would call that literally procrastination masked in healthy patience. You know,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and
man.
and and the thing is that, I've got to be entirely ready to turn it over. Like turn over, like surrender to the waiting, that patience. Like I have to, but for me, I know that the only way that I can do that is when I've done my part. Like I I've had financial problems in the last year. And when I'm not doing my part, but I'm expecting my finances to change, that's not healthy patience. That's fear based delay. It's like I'm afraid, I'm frozen by inaction, and
Yeah,
I'm
man.
not getting anywhere. And I know that, and I can feel it. They say you can't bullshit a bullshitter, but I've been bullshitting myself pretty good for long enough. And I need to put that shit on the shelf,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah,
I'm
man.
done. That's all I got for that one.
Ready for my question?
I am so ready. I'm ready to be like the
What
readiest.
happens, Milan, when you push through that urge to procrastinate?
Oh my God. I feel great. I feel freedom. I get stuff done. I can go to bed. I can go to bed and put my head on my pillow and not have a question or anxiety about the shoulda, woulda, couldas, or the what am I going to do next. Like the feeling of the reason that I put procrastination on my radar for this year as like it was really like it was my one New Year's resolution was to try to make this the year of no procrastination. And because I saw how it affects my state of mind in a day to day basis. Like it keeps me self loathing, it keeps me frantic, and it doesn't let me have peace. But when I push through it, and even if I'm not getting anywhere near what I want done, I know I've done what I can do. And there's just something about that sits right inside my heart where it's like it lets me sleep better. It lets me just take that moment of rest. And but I also want to say one thing before I finish on this one is that I also have to look at when I'm pushing myself too hard. It's like,
Yeah.
I truly want to caution anybody out there who's got the same kind of personality type as me is don't set your calendar too full because
Yeah.
I'm telling you that then you will live in a perpetual state of anxiety and disappointment of not having have done the things that you wanted to do. I hope that
Yeah.
answered the question. I'm not
Hell
even
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
dude. That was
Okay.
beautiful, man. That was beautiful. So what happens when I push through the urge to procrastinate?
Okay, yeah, I did answer the question.
Hell yeah,
I
you
could I
did.
couldn't even remember the question
Bro,
and by
bro,
the
you
end
you
I'm like
knocked it out the park, man. You
I'm
knocked it out
talking
the
about
park,
calendar
man.
events
I'm
and
I'm watching it go over the fence, man. That shit's nice, man. I like that. So, I think about this, like when I push through the urge to procrastinate, something really powerful happens in me. Something spiritual. It becomes spiritual when I do that. It's about reclaiming my power from fear, right? Like because fear will cripple me. Future events already ruined. Hashtag. Um, but it's about getting out of those old patterns for me and proving to myself that in the moment I don't have to be ruled by my feelings or that fear anymore. Um, for most of my life, I was always that dude that would just be like, I'll get to it, and then I just don't. I'll do it later, and I just don't. Um, and I was also the guy that like I would just wait till the last minute because then that would be when I would actually perform. It's like I couldn't perform unless it was last minute. Like in college, I would wait to do a term paper that we knew we had for 2 months, and I would wait till literally like the night before and do all of it. And I would stay up and cram, and I would get it done last minute. But it's like I needed that to perform. I almost needed that last minute mentality to perform. And again, I wasn't working a program. I didn't have people helping me harness the ability to do those kind of things. And it wasn't about other people needing to give that to me. It's just maybe I wasn't in the spot to receive it. Again, I'm not looking back and like being pissed off about it. It's just something that I have to grow from. But like to answer my question, what I get when I do this, when I'm able to push through the procrastination is I regain spiritual momentum. I've been talking a lot about this being spiritual, this procrastination thing in a good way or a bad way, but I'm gaining spiritual momentum when I push through those things. When I act in the face of like hesitation, something much more valuable than just a finished task happens, right? Like when I do that thing that I've been putting off or that I've been dreading doing, I get something really, really powerful, Milan. What is that? It's called momentum. I get momentum. And every time, I'm free flowing into that next task way better. I've got a much better mental outlook on what I'm doing next because I'm like, bro, like I pushed through that shit and I didn't want to. Like it's like a little mini attaboy, a little mini pat on the butt. We like our pat on the butts, man. We all love our pats on the butts. And so every time I do that and I act despite my fear, right? Like I'm sending this little message to my spirit, right? Like we're doing this anyway. Like fear don't run the show anymore. What does FACE stand for? Fear ain't in this house.
fear ain't in this house.
Fear ain't in this house, bro.
Fear
Come
ain't in this
on,
house.
ooh, get out of here. So what follows this process, Milan, is peace. There's no way to peace, man. Peace is the way. Ain't no way to peace, man. Peace is the way. What does peace stand for? We just said it. Positive energy always creates elevation. Pray every day and cherish everything. My nervous system is so addicted to chaos, that it doesn't know what peace is. So procrastination and dealing with procrastination is gonna help me streamline to my peace place, man. And we love peace, man. We need some peace in here,
Give me
man.
a piece of peace.
Give me girl a piece of peace.
I want a little piece of peace to
Ooh-wee.
get some more peace.
Spicy peace, man.
Yeah.
I'll take some spicy peace,
I want
man.
some wasabi peace.
Oh, wasabi. Wasabi. Yeah, so look, man, got, like it's so beautiful now that we're talking about it. I'm gonna be able to really I think make some progress in this thing, man. I'm really thinking positively about me going forward on this subject, man. Thank you
I
for
think you
being
could
here.
do it, man. I think you got it.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
There
I'm
ain't
done.
nothing you can't do. I believe
That's
in you.
true.
See, that's the problem.
And what I
And it's the
can't, we
solution.
can, man. What I
Yeah.
can't, we can. I know that for a fact. So I love you, man.
I love you too. Are you ready for a question?
I'm born.
Okay. Each time we delay action, we postpone the freedom that faith promises. What areas of your life grew stronger once you stopped waiting for the right moment?
Oh wow. everything. I mean, everything became a little bit better when I stopped waiting for that moment, because there's never that perfect moment, man. If I'm gonna wait for the perfect moment to do everything, I'm never gonna get anything done. I'm never gonna get anything done. So if I'm, waiting for the perfect moment, I'm never present in the moment, right? If I'm waiting for the perfect moment to happen to act, I'm never gonna be present and consciously connected to anything. I'm always waiting for either the ball to drop on that perfect moment, or for when that perfect moment happens. And look, perfection, call it what you want, but it doesn't happen much, man. Like we all have our own levels of perfection. But again, that can get really, really, really nasty. When you're thinking about a perfect situation. I don't think anything can be really perfect. You know, except my doggy. My doggy's perfect. I tell her she's perfect.
Ooh,
She is.
you ain't seen my
So,
dog, man. My dog's perfect.
oh, we might have to fight later. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's really cool, man. I had a real problem with that. Like if I didn't do things better than you, I didn't want to do them. I didn't want to be a part of it. Like I'm very, very, very what is it? Athletes are very competitive.
Competitive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
competitive. I am so competitive, man. I'm so hyper competitive. Like if I don't know I'm gonna win, I don't want to be in the race.
Oh, dude, you're the only guy who's like, hey, man, this meeting has 54 people. Like, you're like, that one only has 39. Like, you count the people in a meeting, and I'm like, whoa, you're like, you played sports for sure.
Big time, bro. Big
Yeah.
time. I just want to win.
Yeah. You're
I
like, we
just
got
want to
seven
win.
newcomers, man. Those guys only got three.
That's right. That's right. They're like gold, man. They're like gold. And it's just my brain racking up like wins and losses and wins and losses. And it's just me being me, you know. But again, I've got a healthy program today. I'm working a program. I've got people to keep me accountable. I do hold myself accountable today. Because I don't like paperwork. None of us do. Been buying pens like crazy lately, so I need to get off that paperwork, man. Oh, that's my answer. Was that good
I love
enough?
you.
Did I answer it?
Yep. Yeah, you
All right,
answered it.
cool.
Okay, so, now it's me on this one.
Hmm.
Sorry, I thought for a second you asked that one. Okay, each time we delay, we postpone the freedom that faith promises. What areas of my life grew stronger once I stopped waiting for the right moment? Man, like, I would say that, like, I gained serenity from being here. I'm experiencing more joy during the execution of even hard parts of life. And like I live in joy of service, and life is happening now, and the right moment, like Andrew said, man, the only right moment is now. Like
Yep.
all we've got is right now. And so, uh, one of the things I think that it's like waiting for that right moment is that fear of taking the first step. And it's like, man, how often has that one step stopped you from moving forward? And I think a prime example of this right now is us on this podcast. Like, if I it was literally in one day that I took the idea of this to the next day recording one of this. I created the artwork one day. I researched how to get it out on the platforms. And the next
Yeah.
day, the first one
Oh,
was
you were up.
recorded.
You were up. You were like, bro, I got it up. And I'm like, hold on a second. You were supposed to do
Yeah.
something with some lady. You're like, no, she dropped out. I got it up. I did the whole year. And I'm like, you're like,
Yeah.
you're ready? You're like, you ready? And I'm like, no, yes. Oh, yeah, let's do it.
Oh, you were ready. You were
I was
ready.
ready. I was ready.
You could pretend there was some meekness involved in that. There was no meekness. You were like, I'm
Let's
jumping in.
go. Let's
Yeah,
go.
that's right. But like the thing is that if I had waited until I had like if I waited until I had enough episodes lined up to release,
Yeah.
if I had wanted to get our scripts down, if I had wanted to it would have
You had
been
faith.
perfectionism in stagnation.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. You had faith, though. You
And
had faith that we were going to do this thing.
and initially I remember it was like after the first or second one I said to you, I'm like, I think this is going to be a great healing tool for the hosts.
Hmm.
Like, and man, what we've gone through in the 189 of these, like that this marks,
Crazy.
like, like who I am and what I was and who I'm at now, it's just not even the same person.
I watched number 7 the other day with Chris, but the one that has 27 sponsees. I watched that one yesterday, and it was
Yeah.
like I couldn't believe, first off, that I had no hair, facial hair, and then second off, that you had long hair. It's just your mannerisms. Everything was like we were just getting our feet wet, man.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It's beautiful. It's really cool to watch.
I I say a lot, by the way. When I listen back, I'm
I
like,
say like a lot. I say like a lot. I need to
yeah.
stop saying like so much.
It's funny that I don't even notice it's there until I
Me
listen back. And then I'm like,
neither.
that's a
Yep.
little bit too much.
I'm like.
Yeah.
I'm like, stop saying like. Stop saying it. Oh, I'm like yelling at myself. It's
But
funny.
I think that's one of the cool things about it being a learning tool. And so, my entire life gets stronger when I stop waiting for the right moment because the only moment that we have to change is now.
You gain confidence.
And the more I become present, like, I was walking this morning and I was messaging with a friend and I saw a shooting star, and they said, "Oh, did you make a wish?" And I'm like, "I didn't need to. I'm happy right now."
Oh, this is the wish. Come on.
Yeah, I'm like, I didn't
We
need
just saw a
to.
shooting star. That is the wish. Let's
Yeah,
go.
I'm like, I feel like right now I got everything I'm wishing for.
Wow, that
You
just
know.
made me tingle, man. That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, man. That's really
Okay,
cool.
now you're up for question asking.
I've got one for you. What spiritual principles help you overcome procrastination today, man?
Ooh.
What most, the most spiritual principles? Spiritual.
Honesty, integrity, courage, perseverance, commitment, and I'm going to throw love in there.
You got to give us a little bit of details on one or two of them, man. Come
Oh,
on,
okay.
give us a rundown on one or two.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so honesty,
Like the
honesty,
top
being
three.
honest with myself about what I'm really doing in that moment. Like, because a lot of times I could mask my procrastination with some delusional excuse. And quite frankly, it's like there is no other time than now. If now is when I was going to do it, I'm probably disappointing somebody else and myself. Integrity, because I want to be the person who does what they say they're going to do. And when I don't, that causes a massive divide in my brain of how I think and feel about myself. Like it hurts me now. It hurts me now not to be acting with integrity, right? I think what did I say next? Perseverance,
Mm-hmm.
perseverance, because I need to persevere through those moments that I'm not feeling good about myself, or like I need to persevere through the uncomfortable moments, like it's really been a thing this week in my brain. I think I misquoted it on here, called it step 7, the last podcast, but it's step 6. We're entirely ready to have these defects removed. Well, it's like I have to be entirely ready to act. And so perseverance is what helps push me through that. My commitment to my life, my word, my schedule, my growth, me being who I am is absolutely integral in that process. My courage to face things that I'm uncomfortable with, to face my fear of failure, to face my fear that I'm not enough, to face an action that is new and in an unfounded territory, and also to face potential failure. Like failure is how we learn. And I still have a real hard time accepting anything but 100% on my exams,
Yeah, man.
even the exam of life. And then I'm not sure what I said after courage.
Love.
Okay, love. Like, I have to love myself and others enough to have all those other principles in motion. Because if I don't care about me and I don't care about you, then what does it matter if I do that right now? Right?
Yeah, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah.
beautiful. You ran that down. Ooh, okay, hit
I
it
was
out the
like,
park.
oh, you want me to explain that? Yeah.
I'm watching it go out the park, man. All right, cool. So I'm gonna kind of hit on some ones that you didn't, because you hit on all the ones that I wanted to do. You
Yep.
you slammed it home with honesty, because I was gonna say that first. Willingness. Willingness is kind of the bridge between knowing and doing for me. It's the one thing to see my procrastination clearly. It's another thing to actually act against it. Willingness is what makes me cross that bridge into action. Actually gets me to do that thing. And sometimes it doesn't look like much. Sometimes you're just saying, God, I don't want to do this, but I'm willing to try, and then usually that'll get my head right and get me into the right place. Because willingness invites God in, right? Like
Yeah.
that's the invitation to let him into my process. And so, and I've learned too, like, I don't need to be 100% ready. I just need to be willing. Like, cause if like
Yes.
you're willing, right, you don't have to I don't have to have the final outcome like planned out in a perfect fashion. Like I just have to be willing. Our Living Clean says this. I say this a lot, Milan. As long as we're willing to move towards our dreams, a lot of times we blow right through them. We just have to be willing to move towards them. We are magical people, right? We just got to be willing to move toward them. So that willingness alone, as magical as we are, we start cleaning out and start getting this ability to like do things and live life. That's how powerful we can be. Is this just the willingness alone? If we're willing to move towards these things that we never thought we could have, a lot of times we gulp them up and everything around it, man. And for an addict like me, it's like a scary place to be because I'm not used to having that stuff, right? I'm not used to having all this good stuff. So like I'll sabotage myself somewhere in there to get to where I feel like I belong now again. Does that make sense? I don't want like all these fruits that I'm having of this labor. Like I'm like I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to do with it. I don't need all this good feeling. Too much good feeling gets me to where I want to go back out again. You know what I'm talking about. If you're not an addict, you can't understand what I just said. But that is a real thing where it's like all this good stuff going on. Like it's time to fall off the boat somewhere, right? It's time to go get lost. Too much good shit. Too much. It's too much. So, I don't know what I was talking about. Oh yeah, we're talking about the question. So, willingness you didn't hit on. Faith. Did you hit on faith?
Oh, I
Faith. You
didn't hit
gotta
up.
have faith. It's what transforms my fear into motion.
Oh,
Like it
yeah.
moves my fear into motion. Right. Procrastination
Yeah.
often has me feeling like I'll wait until I'm safe, until I feel safe. Faith is me acting before I actually feel safe. Taking that first stair without seeing the whole staircase. Faith is very, very important as it relates to procrastination. So, in recovery, right, like faith has taught me that I don't have to figure it all out before I begin. I just got to begin. And then my willingness comes in there. Like that's where I can piggyback on the willingness, and these things all kind of work off each other because these, as we know, Milan, spiritual principles are never in conflict,
Yeah.
ever, ever. They only help each other out. They're only buddies. Only buddies on the playground. So when I act in faith, procrastination tends to lose its overall power, like that whole power of it, if I can keep an act in faith. So, um, and you know what? I thought about this too. Faith feeds on surrender, doesn't it? Faith feeds on that surrender because it feeds on that control, right? And that's the heart of recovery, is turning that will over to that
They
trust, man.
feed on.
Feeds on surrender. It feeds on surrender. Like it feeds off of it.
You mean like, well, I would say your surrender feeds on your faith. Like the more faith,
Procrastination
like the more, yeah.
Procrastination feeds on control. Faith feeds on surrender.
Procrastination. Hmm. Or faith supplies surrender. I'm not sure. Feeds on. I feel like because it almost would sound like it would. Ah. Oof.
So procrastination grows when control is there. Faith grows when surrender is there.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
That's where my head goes. So so faith. You talked on courage. You hit the courage thing out of the park. Did you hit on humility? I was going to say humility because
Nope.
it
I
teach it
did
teaches
not.
it teaches me to accept that I'm human and I'm going to struggle and I get overwhelmed at times and sometimes I fall short, right? But like humility reminds me that recovery isn't powered by my self will alone because my self will is what got me here. I can't just go on me anymore. I've got to have some help. You know, and that's me saying, God, I can't do it alone. You know, humility is me asking God for help. You know,
Yes.
and it's asking him to get me started, right? Like, and that's all I need to do is ask him to help me get started doing this task or this deed, this whatever I'm talking about. So, um, but humility replaces that pride. What does pride do? One of the primary reasons I die early, man, pride and ego, bro. So humility is what replaces my pride and that ego, man. You know, and my ego is not my amigo. You said discipline, right? Or I was gonna say discipline because you hit it out
I
the
said
park with the.
commitment.
You said
Commitment.
perseverance and commitment.
Yeah.
So discipline, you gotta have discipline.
Yep.
Discipline is what turns my good intentions into actual real reality.
Ooh.
You know, so I gotta have discipline. And in as an addict, early on in recovery, discipline to me was like punishment, but it's not, man. Discipline is not punishment; it's self-respect, Milan, isn't it? Disciplined about setting small goals and keeping them, right?
Discipline's one of the keys to freedom.
Yep, and showing up to meetings, you know, writing my step work when I say I'm going to, cleaning my house when I say I'm going to, showing up when I say I'm going to show up for my commitments, like all that shit. Each time I honor my discipline, I strengthen my spirit, man. I'm strengthening that spirit. So, and I used to think freedom was like doing whatever the hell I wanted whenever I wanted to. No, 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 no.
No, no, no,
It,
no.
that mean it. Freedom is the ability to choose the next right thing, even when my feelings are telling me like otherwise, man. That's freedom. You know what I mean? And so I was totally flipped over on what freedom was, man. So discipline is the practice of spiritual consistency. It's me saying like I act in faith today, not feelings, man. I'm not acting on feelings today, man. I'm acting on faith today. Fuck those feelings. You know what I mean? I can't
Fuck those
manipulate what
feelings, man.
God can orchestrate. Come on, man.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I cannot act on those things. So you talked on perseverance and you hit on love, accountability. Got to have account. You know, while not always listed as one of those big time principles, right? Accountability is one I hold close. You know, when I let others into my process, procrastination loses its power as well, man. So I'm glad we're talking about this because I wouldn't have even thought about this if we didn't come up with this today. So, you know, when I share what I'm doing, like if I'm avoiding something, if I share about it, like I expose it. I expose it to light, man, and other people hold me accountable because I put it out there. You know, and the disease can't live in light, man. It lives under the house. You know, the disease lives in those dark places with all the spiders and shit, man. It can't live when the sun's out, man. And so, again, it's okay to live a life most people don't understand. I don't have to explain myself to anybody anymore. But I can't have a new reality with an old mentality either, man. I got to switch it up. So, gratitude. I was gonna hit on gratitude too. Look, when my gratitude shifts my focus from I have to I get to. You know, when I view my responsibilities as blessings, it's a lot easier to do my responsibilities. You know, procrastination loses its sting when I'm looking at something as a blessing rather than a burden. As I think about it, right? So it's about shifting my mental. I gotta shift my mental, and then a lot of this gets a lot easier. You know, how do we shift our mental? We don't use drugs. We work on ourselves to do the step work. We talk about our problems and we're honest with each other, man. We come on here, we hold each other accountable, you know, and gratitude reminds me that I've been blessed with a second chance at life, man. And I don't want to waste it hiding or being in the back of the class, man, for fear of behind like fear or delay. I don't want to lose any more of my time that I've already lost enough time in my life, man. So I hope that answers it.
I
That,
love
that
it.
was good.
Yeah.
That was good because you hit on love. Though love was the last one. You knocked that out of the park, man. At the core, love is at the core, man. Love for
Yeah.
myself, love for others, love for life, everything, man. Because when I operate out of love, I naturally want to do things that matter.
Yeah.
You know, I naturally want to help the people that I love. You know, love reminds me that taking action isn't about perfection either. It's about showing up, having compassion for myself and other people, and the effort in the job we're doing here. Love you. I
Love
love
it.
you.
Woo. Okay, I got a good one here. When we put off self examination, resentment, and guilt, when we put off self-examination, resentment and guilt multiply quietly in the dark. How does consistent inventory help you keep procrastination from turning into spiritual decay?
Say the last part of that again, please.
Okay, how does consistent inventory help you keep procrastination from turning into spiritual decay?
Okay. Well, if I'm taking a stock of what I have going on, if I'm staying daily tapped in with me and taking that daily inventory, then it's gonna be a lot easier to fall into my decisions, man. If I have like decisions I'm making during the day, if I have a schedule that I'm trying to adhere to, it's gonna be a lot easier to live in that natural way of life for that day. Um, I gotta stay structured. I gotta stay routine. You talked about writing stuff down. I write a lot, man, and I almost am at this point where I'm almost like I overwrite because I have like 3 or 4 or 5 different notebooks. Whether it's like with recovery, whether it's out recovery, whether it's my tasks that I got to do on the side, whether it's whatever it is, I got all these little notebooks, and I got one for my acronyms. I got an acronym book. You've seen that one. It's gonna be my novel. It's what we're all gonna be rich off of when I make my book and I bring all y'all with me. We're all living on an NA island somewhere and like living it up. I can't wait. I can't wait. It's gonna be a New York Times bestseller. You already know it is, Milan. We're gonna figure something out. I've had people in
Boom.
my meetings. I'm getting off track, and I don't care. I've had people in my meetings. We're talking about it, like even like last night, the night before. They were like, "Bro, you need to come out with a book or like they were talking about the 365 day calendar. You and I should do a joint calendar where you do your thing that you were going to do
My
365,
question of the
and then
day.
I've got my acronym. You got your questions. I got my acronyms. It'd be the Milan and Andrew. Come on, man,
Whoa, that'd be a good one.
bro. It would be a duel. Like you get your acronym for the day, you get your question for the day, and you get a little picture of us like being spiritual.
Yeah,
What do you think? I'll
I like
pass
it.
it.
I like it.
I'll pass that. Is it me to ask you a
Okay.
question now?
No, I got to answer this one.
Oh, sorry.
How does consistent inventory help me keep procrastination from turning into spiritual decay? You know, it shows my wins and my losses. And I can be the guy who could have 42 wins and one loss. And I'm like,
Me too.
spiral.
Me
And then
too.
it's like, whoa, slow it down. And, and I can make an unattainable list faster than the world goes round, man. Like I could be like, wow. And I learned about my ability or disability to do that when I used to do carpentry. Like could I could see the next 5 steps and I could lay it all out mathematically in my mind in a few minutes and I'd be like, "Okay, we can do that today." And it wouldn't even cross my mind about how many nails, how many boards had to be cut, how many minutes that took. And so I was always in a state of disappointment of me and my crew. Like, come on. And it got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm like, this took that long last time. This is going to take that long again or longer, depending on the
It was
complexity of the job.
unrealistic expectations, right?
It
Is that what
really
you're?
was. And so I mean, inventories are literally my maps of how I'm doing, how I've done, my wins, my losses, and what I need to change on. So I think it keeps um, it keeps delusions at bay about my accomplishments and my procrastinations. Sometimes I can be like, "Oh yeah, I'm just trucking along on that," and then I'll see in the inventory, I'm like, "You ain't doing shit," or "You're doing way more than you think you are," and that's why I like when it's like fearless and moral inventory. Like you have to shed the fear about the reality it's going to show you. And
Mhm.
and moral, it's like spiritual decay is going to occur if I'm acting immorally. Like bottom line, like that's practicing these principles in all our affairs. So, like I inventory myself all day long, man. They don't call
I
me
know
step
you
10
do. Step
stars.
10 Starcic. That's my
Like,
dude. I know him.
I'm just like, maybe I need to inventory more. And then I'm like, slow it down. Like, I'm like,
Over inventory Starcic.
yeah, yeah, that's right. Paralyzed by inventory starts.
Paralyzed by over inventorying. He's just like, you're like assed out in the corner, like,
Yeah, I'm like,
over
no,
inventory.
I've done enough inventories this month. No, but I'm in the midst of 3-step force right now, so it is a bit of a problem.
It's so funny.
Yeah, so I think that's it for me with that one.
You ready for my question?
I am ready.
What have you learned about yourself, Milan, through your battle with procrastination? What have you
Well,
learned about yourself, man?
so the biggest thing is that when I procrastinate, it either makes other people or myself feel unimportant, and that
Great point.
um, what is that saying that you say all the time, and I love it? The things you're wishing for is in the work you're avoiding,
The
or
magic you're looking for is in the
well,
work you're avoiding.
and that's procrastination, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's I realize that okay, we had Tom on here, and Tom did dispel the myth that all growth is pain. Like all growth comes from pain. But I would say that 99% of my growth, my real appreciable growth, comes from discomfort, if not pain.
Yeah.
And I don't procrastinate on things that have a positive physical sensation. I procrastinate on things that are either literally work or that discomfort required for growth. Even if it's just the discomfort of seeing myself for who I really am. And so, I really needed to put some of that to rest. And the results have, like, honestly, it's been my happiest year. Is it just because of procrastination or lack of? No, but a great deal of it has been, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's it for me. I think
Have you
that's
talked to, and I don't mean to be off topic, have you talked to Tom lately?
Yeah, so we were gonna almost do an impromptu thing. His mom, I think, is
I,
dying
no,
in Chicago.
I think she just passed.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Yeah.
because JJ's been talking to him, and he
Shout
was
out to
JJ.
Tom. I love you,
Yeah,
Tom,
love
and
you,
my
Tom.
condolences to you and your family,
I'm
brother.
so sorry, Tom. I love you, love you, love you. We are. My heart is heavy for you today, and I know JJ was in our after our parking lot last night talking about what's going on, and my
Yeah,
heart's with you, bro. Big time. Love you, Tom. I'm sorry, man. I just wanted to
yeah.
ask you
No,
that.
no, no. Yeah,
I hope we can get
I
him on
love
soon.
Tom.
Hope we can
I
get him
think
on
he
soon.
wants to come on. Honestly, like I think he really
Let
needs
us
to
know.
talk through the pain. Yeah,
Let us know, man. Let us
yeah. We'll
know.
figure something out emergency wise for Tommy.
Is it my answer? You want me to answer now?
Yeah. I think it was your question, your answer. Yep.
Yeah. Or were you done? I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
I was done.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Love you,
Yeah.
Tom, man. Man. Yeah, so what have I learned about myself through my battle with procrastination? Um, I've learned it's a symptom of a much deeper spiritual condition that I'm dealing with. And to start it off, like I've learned most importantly that fear is usually at the root of this thing. There's usually some kind of fear every time I'm procrastinating. There's some fear of failure, some fear of success, some fear of responsibility, some fear of disappointment, mine or somebody else's even. I've learned that I tend to delay on the things that matter the most to me because they matter so much, right? Like I'm procrastinating on those things because again, I want them to be perfect. That they mean a lot to me. I want them to be right. And that's where it mentally can get really tricky for me. There's a twisted logic in there that says like if I don't try, I can't fail, right?
Hmm.
Which is a defense mechanism. If I don't try, I can't fail. You gotta try. If you don't try, you're not going to do. You gotta try. You gotta try everything first before you get it down. You gotta try these things, right? And when I was using, I avoided pain by escaping in the drugs. Right now, when I procrastinate, I avoid emotional or spiritual pain by postponing action on that thing. And I just do it like it's like it's normal, like it's a normal day for me, like it's normal shit for me. And so if I'm not actually working on myself, I'm not going to be able to stop that in its tracks, man. I'm just going to like roll with it because it was easier. My brain keeps track of when I just fold on those things or when I act. You know what I mean? It remembers. even when I don't want it to. It keeps track. Another thing is I've learned is self-doubt. It still lingers big time for me. That's where, self-doubt, procrastination is telling me like self-doubt still lives in me even after 3.5 years of recovery. It whispers like I'm not ready, and maybe I'm not enough. You're still gonna mess this up, or maybe it's the first time I'm doing it. Like I have fear of like not doing it right the first time. But it's been humbling too, like to realize that those same voices that keep me in the addiction, that kept me in, are the, like, when they wear different clothes, they can talk me out of this thing too, Milan, right? When those same voices put on different clothes and they talk to me in a different way, more spiritual, and in a more spiritual way, they're going to help me get out of this thing. They're going to help me recover and stay clean too. So that's where I can empower myself, man. Is I can empower myself to teach that where those voices are coming from. Like they're going to come from a healthy place today. They're going to have pretty clothes on, not ugly clothes on, right? Like, and I'm getting off on it, but it's just pretty cool to think about. 'Cause I think about it in pictures. Like I have a pictorial memory, and so that's kind of really special for me when I think about it like that. And it should help me out a lot in my process, man. Yeah, I'm done. I think I'm done.
I love you.
Yeah, I love you too, man.
Ooh, man. I want to say that I think it was a great one here today, and I think we rode through some dusty bottoms.
We're dredging.
Yeah, we're trudging, man.
Trudging. That's right.
Trudging. Oh, man. And everybody out there, man, tune in next episode
Bye,
for more
guys.
recovery fun. I love you. Please help us help others. If you've liked what you've seen here today, please subscribe and share this podcast and help us get to 100 followers. We're looking for interaction with our audience. So please email recoveryfreedomrising@gmail.com or contact Milan South Okanagan Starcic on Facebook with questions, topic suggestions, or just comments. We'd love to hear from you.